Hey happy bees, it's Amanda and today I'm going to show you how to make this soccer football top cake. So to start out, I've baked a large rectangle cake and a smaller cake in a loaf tin, and I've put in the description all my quantities and the measurements of the cake tins that I use, and I'm just going to show you here how I carved it into a shirt type shape. So I've got that larger cake in the middle, or the one loaf tin I've cut in half so it's 2 squares, and I'm making that into the sleeves for the shirt, and I'm just rounding it out at the top. I've covered that in some chocolate buttercream. I'm just going to put a thin layer of white fondant on top. Now I know these football shirt cakes, you can create them like this where the fondant is quite neat, but I wanted it to look like a shirt that was actually sitting and it was quite loose and baggy and realistic looking. So I've put a V-shaped piece of flesh fondant in the top to create a neckline, and now I'm putting another layer of white fondant over it, and I'm just creating it loosely and giving it some folds to make it look a little bit more realistic. I'm using a quilting tool to go around those edges and a knife to reveal that flesh part that we'd put underneath that original piece of white fondant. Create a trim for your neckline by cutting out a strip of white fondant and fold it into a V type shape. Now this cake was for a Ronaldo fan and he wanted it to be the new Real Madrid kit, so I'm going in with some Renshaw fondant in the shade of Jade. I'm creating some indentations just with the knife there to emphasize where the sleeves are going to be, and now I'm using this jade coloured fondant to create some of the stripes on the shoulders and a little trim in between the sleeve and the shirt. I've got a local bakery to print out the Real Madrid logo and the Adidas logo onto some edible paper. I'm going to peel off the back of that and use a tiny bit of water to stick that on to the correct place. Adding some green fondant onto our cake now around the cake board very loosely to kind of make it look a bit like grass. And I also used some letter cutters to print out Ronaldo's name and number, and I stuck those on the front of the kit as well. I hope you had fun following along with me and making your own football or soccer kit cake. If you did, I'd love for you to subscribe and become part of the Happy Bee Cakes family. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!